This is the downside of filming in natural light. It's a super gray, dreary, cloudy day here today. So I feel like the lighting in this video might be a little messed up because of that. So I'm sorry about that. But today we are sitting down and we're gonna play with some new makeup to me. Most of it is goodies that I bought from the Sephora sale that I figured you guys would maybe want to see in action. And I do have two different products that have gotten sent to me in PR that I also wanted to show off. So we're going to start off with the eyes like usual. I went ahead and primed with my Ulta Beauty Matte Veil Long Wear Eye Primer. And we're going to use the Hung Van Gogh new neutral palette that I recently got from the Sephora sale. If you missed it, my Sephora Sale haul should be the video before this. So I'll have it linked in case you missed it and you want to see other goodies that I got, because I'm going to be trying quite a few on in this video, like I said, but I did get more, like too much. So if you want to check out my haul, I'll have it linked for you. We're going to do a really easy look today, guys. I thought about going like dramatic, showing off a bunch of the colors, but that's just not really the type of looks I'm into these days. So I figured I would stay true to myself and only make a eyeshadow look that I like genuinely would wear. If I was going on like a date night tonight, I would maybe go a little bit more smoky and intense, but we are not. We are hanging out at home tonight. So we're gonna go ahead and mix together these two mattes right here on a BK Beauty 202. And we're going to put that into the crease. I like to mix these two together because the lightest one is just a little too light, kind of doesn't show up. And then the darker one is a little too dark for like a transition color on me. But honestly, mixing the two of them is pretty perfect. Doing about 2 layers on each side. All right, I think now I just want to put some glitter primer on my lids, and I think I just want to go in with this super pretty satin shade. I haven't used this all over my lid yet. The 2 other times I've used this palette, I used this shimmer and then this shimmer, so I really want to just see what that one can do. The other 3 shimmers in the palette are more sparkly and intense. This one seems to be, the one I'm going to use, seems to be a little bit more of a satin, so it's going to be probably like more toned down. Yeah, ooh, that's beautiful. More like cool toned. That's pretty. A little bit darker than I thought it was gonna be, but that's okay. Bring it up into the crease a little bit. Ooh, oh, you know what though? That's still packing a punch. That definitely still has some sparkle to it. Ooh, that's pretty. More of a satin shade for sure, but there are sparkles in there. I don't know if it's really going with the matte shades. The matte shades seem to be more warm. We're just going to take that original brush, blend, blend, blend. It got a little harsh on this side. I think the glitter glue got a little too high, but that's really pretty. It's a little, like I said, a little bit deeper than what I was really kind of anticipating for an all over the lid shade, but I do like it. I think it's really pretty. It's not too intense. It is more satin, but if you can see, I mean, there are still, I don't know if you guys can see. I'm sorry, guys. I feel like this lighting is not the best, but I'm just working with what I got, you know what I mean? But if you can see, there is still some sparkle. It's pretty. I like it. I do think I liked the look I made in my Sephora Sale Haul video better. I try not to judge my eye looks too much until my makeup is completely done, because right now it looks kind of intense and a little off to me personally, but that's because like nothing else is done, you know what I mean? So let's move on to the base. Okay, I have a new foundation question mark to try out today. It's from Laura Mercier. It's their new tinted blur balm, but it's supposed to be more of a matte formulation, I'm pretty sure, from what I read on the card. So I am going to go in with my NARS Light Reflecting Hydrating Primer just to give me some hydration before we go in with this matte blur balm. I'm very intrigued by this, but I want to give it the best shot by putting a hydrating primer underneath so it doesn't look like too dry on my skin. And then I am also going to take the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Primer and just put that in my T-zone, because the hydrating primer doesn't do anything for like pore filling, obviously. That's not what it's meant for. So I like to do a little pore filling action. I don't think this stuff like completely fills your pores, like makes them undetectable, but I do think it helps. Okay, so like I said, I want to use the new Laura Mercier. This is their Tinted Blur Balm. This was sent to me in PR, so thank you to Laura Mercier for sending it my way. They sent 3 components, but 2 of them are the same shade. So they sent over 01 twice, which looks a little dark. We'll see. Sometimes these balmy sort of consistencies look darker in pan and then lighten up on the skin. And then they also sent over 02. So we're gonna give 01 a shot and see what that looks like on my skin. But this is, it seems like a really interesting like formulation from what I get from the little pamphlet that they sent over. It says blurring made effortless. Benefits are a transformative balm to powder skin tint. So it's supposed to be like balmy at first and then I guess set down to powder. Ultra buildable and blendable formula for effortless sculpting. Natural matte soft focus finish. 12-hour long wear. Refined skin, improving texture, elasticity, and tone. Blur skin, delivering a smooth veil of coverage. So it's got peptides, vegan squalane, it's soft focus, natural matte, never flat, never heavy, according to their pamphlet that they sent over. So let's go ahead. I haven't even swatched this. I don't know anything about it. So let's go ahead and swatch this. Again, this is in the shade 01. Okay. It is very balmy, like slippery feeling, almost oily, greasy feeling, question mark. They did send over a foundation brush to try it with. This is their Real Flawless foundation brush. I notoriously do not like foundation brushes. We are gonna give it a go. I do have my sponge on deck in case I don't like the foundation brush. So that's good. I guess we're just gonna go for it. I'm gonna dip it in, get some on the brush. That didn't look like it picked up much. Okay, and then we're going to, I guess, stipple and swipe. Okay, that's actually a really good shade match for me. I thought it was going to be maybe a little too dark in the pan, but it's looking pretty much my skin tone, which that is nice. I guess I'm just gonna stipple this. I feel like if I swipe it, it's going to like get streaky. I don't know. It's providing more coverage than I thought it was going to, I will say that. See what it does on my redness on my chin and like around my nose here. I don't hate this. I don't think I hate this, you guys. I was fully expecting to just really not like this. I'm not going to lie. Okay, it is looking slightly dry. I will, admit that. On my forehead here, I don't know if you guys can see, there is kind of some patchiness, a little bit of dryness, but really nothing terrible. Okay, so this is the side with the blurring balm. And then without, it definitely provided some coverage. It definitely covered up the redness on my cheeks, around my nose. All right, and I don't hate the brush either, which I kind of was expecting to hate that too. Let's actually, okay, so I did just apply a little bit with the brush. Let's try it with my foundation, with my sponge, just to see. Why not? I'm just rubbing it in here. Okay, let's see what that's gonna give us. Definitely more sheer of an application. It's still applying nicely, but it is definitely more sheer, not giving as much coverage. I think this might be something, I'm gonna go back to the brush. I think this might be something that I would really like applying with the brush first and then maybe tapping over with a sponge to give it a little bit of that hydration back and just meshing it with the skin a little bit more, because it is sitting a tiny bit on top of my skin with the brush. That is one thing that I don't like about foundation brushes, is they do tend to have the foundation just kind of sit on top of my skin, get dry, get flaky on me. That's typically why I don't like foundation brushes. It's definitely looking dry in between my forehead, like in between my eyebrows and on my forehead and a little bit on my nose. That is very, very typical for foundations, especially right now when I am still a little bit sick. I'm on the mend, I'm feeling better, but I still have some like lingering runny nose and all of that, so I am blowing my nose a lot. So around my nose is super dry and red from that. So that makes sense that it's dry around my nose. But honestly, like everywhere else on my cheek, is that pilling right there? No, I don't think so. Like everywhere else on my cheek, it's looking good. It is providing coverage. I was expecting this to have absolutely no coverage. So let's go ahead, just take my sponge, just kind of like see what this does, mesh it in. This 01 shade is really good for me right now. I feel like in the summertime, that 02 shade would be good once I get a little tan/fake tan in my life. All right, what do you guys think? I was fully expecting to like annihilate this and expected to have like no coverage, be like oily on my skin, but also dry and flaky at the same time. I don't know. I just didn't have high hopes for this, but so far, I feel like it's looking pretty good on my skin. Let me know what you think. Definitely not full coverage, which I think is fine. I guess it is a little bit more of a matte. I'm having some shininess on my skin. I did use that hydrating primer underneath it though. I do see some pilling a little bit. Do you see in like my hairline right there? Just a little bit. That could be from the sunscreen I used though. So maybe, oh yeah, that's like pilling pretty bad. Oh shoot, yeah. It's like pilling pretty bad right there. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that. Oh no, well I had high hopes for this, but now it's like pilling. Do you see it's like flaking off my skin? Maybe because I use this? I don't know. Let me try to like, that's interesting. I wonder why it's doing that. I don't know. I'm just gonna stop messing with it and we're just gonna move on. Other than that flakiness and the pilling, I do really like how this is looking on the skin though. So that's very odd. I'm gonna have to see like if that keeps doing it throughout the day. Next up, I did want to go ahead and demonstrate the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Blur Concealer. This is in the shade 3 Fair. I raved about this in my Sephora Sale Haul. I am loving this concealer, you guys. It is so, so pretty. I kind of want to put it under here just because like that's how I usually like to conceal. I put some on my lower cheeks to cover up the redness. I know there's not really redness peeking through right now, but like throughout the day it comes through. But I'm wondering if I should just leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone, I think, and just do on my eyes because I don't want to mess up that Blur Balm. Oh man, it's pilling really bad here too. What is going on? I wonder why it's doing that. Anyways, the concealer is so good. It blends in really nice and easily. It looks super smooth under my eyes and never really makes my under eyes look dry or flat or anything. I've been really enjoying this concealer. And I like it with a sponge or a concealer brush. I don't know, I'm like turning into a brush girly. What's going on? I've like never liked a foundation brush or a concealer brush. But lately I've been using a concealer brush and then I didn't hate that foundation brush just now. I don't know what's going on. But if you can tell, it just provides a good amount of coverage, covers up the blueness, covers up the like, you didn't sleep last night very well kind of what's going on. It does still crease on me, if you can see there. I'm not too concerned about that. I have pretty bad under eye lines, so everything creases on me. But yeah, I just think it looks really good, especially when I set it down with powder, which we will do in a little bit, I think. I wasn't sure if I would need powder with this Blur Balm. I don't necessarily think I do in the sense that like it's too oily or greasy, but I can't, like it's sticky. I can't have a sticky face like this. I need to like set my makeup down to where it's not sticky. I know I have my hair up right now, but if it was down and like getting stuck on my face, that would drive me insane. We're not doing that. We are gonna set it down with powder in a few minutes. All right, off camera, I went ahead and applied my NARS Laguna Bronzing Cream in Laguna 01. This is still my favorite cream bronzer ever. This is the second one I've gone through. It's got a huge jet in it. I'm gonna use it up. I'm gonna buy a third one. I love this so much. I just went ahead and did that off camera because I've talked about that product quite a few times on my channel in the past. I do want to go ahead and show off this Danessa Myricks Low Lighter in the shade Low Key. I did say in my Sephora Sale Haul that I like to put a cream blush under it just to give it some color and have a base color before I go in with the low lighter on top. A couple people commented on that video and said that this is not a blush, it is a highlighter, which technically, yes, I think it is technically a highlighter, but I use it as a blush. That's why I kept calling it a blush in my Sephora haul. But underneath, I'm gonna use this IT Cosmetics Glow with Confidence Sun Blush. This is in the shade Sun Blossom 20. I just go ahead and dip it in there like one time. And, oh, that was a lot. Okay, that was more than I thought. That's okay. I did want to say that the NARS Cream Bronzer blended over the Laura Mercier Tinted Blur Balm perfectly. There was no, like, weird blending issue or patching or anything like that. So that was good. And this blush seems to be going over it very well as well. Okay, we are going to try to set this down. I did go ahead and grab my Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder because this is just the most lightweight, least drying powder that I own. Although I do feel like I am looking a little oily and greasy with this on, the Blur Balm. It's like, you can see that, like I'm pretty oily. We're gonna get these lines out. I just got a little bit of that Hourglass powder on my BK Beauty 108 brush, and we're just going to set down under the eyes and in the T-zone. I don't know how I feel about this Blur Balm, you guys. I feel like I was liking it at first, but now it's like sitting on my face. It is looking a little dry set down with powder, even though I'm using like my least drying powder that I own. Yeah, it's definitely looking dry, you guys. Now that I'm setting it down with powder. I don't know if I'm supposed to set it down with powder, but just for me personally and my makeup preferences, I have to set down with powder. I almost always do, even though I have dry skin. And my pores, I feel like, are definitely just like peeking through, even though I did put down that pore filling primer, the Hourglass one. I'm gonna throw on a little bit of the Maybelline City Bronzer. I haven't used this in a really long time. As you can tell, it's got a pretty big pan in it. I do really like this bronzer, and this is the second one I've gone through. I already used up one a couple years ago. It's pretty warm, but I do like to just set down a cream bronzer with a powder one. Add a little along the jawline too. Unsure of the beauty balm as I am, I will say everything else is going over top of it well. Like my bronzer and blush so far are blending nicely over it. I haven't had any issues, which is good. I don't know, maybe I need to get a more oomphy powder because even setting down with the Hourglass, I mean, I still look pretty glowy. I'm looking more glowy on camera than in person though. Okay, now to show you the amazingness of this Danessa Myricks product. Again, this is their Yummy Skin Blur Balm Low Lighter in the shade Low Key. That is something that I forgot to mention in my Sephora Sale haul, is that these go over powder beautifully, which is really nice. Sometimes you have cream highlights, cream blushes, whatever you want to call this, that don't go over powder nicely. So this is before. There is already a little bit of a sheen, but adding this on top just gives the most beautiful orangey glow to your skin. Oh, look at that. Oh, it just gives you such a healthy glow. But I love, like I said, I love that I can put this over a powder, even over like my oomphy Huda Beauty powder. This still goes over it perfectly fine, doesn't get patchy, doesn't lift. Which that is like, I feel like one of my favorite things about this product, because the Charlotte Tilbury, at least the Pink Gasm highlighter one, I still haven't tried the peach one yet. I will, I promise. I think I decided I'm gonna go ahead and keep it. But that one I can't really put over like a oomphy powder like the Huda Beauty one. I can put it over the Hourglass because it's a really thin powder, but a more like oomphy powder, it just gets kind of patchy over it. So this is another like good thing about the Danessa Myricks versus the Charlotte Tilbury, is that it does go over powder. So this is with it. Oh, which is so pretty. And then again without, it still has that sheen and glow, but like not as much. And this does add a little bit of that orangey color. Ooh, I love this. Do you guys see how beautiful that is? I just wanted to show that in action because I didn't wear this one in the Sephora haul video. I had the pink one on, which is just as beautiful in my opinion. I love them both, but I wanted to show off the more orangey tone one. Alrighty, I did a couple things off of camera. I went ahead and finished up the eyes. I just ran those two mattes along the lower lash line, and then went ahead and grabbed my Dior highlight quad and used this as my inner corner, as well as a little bit on my nose. I didn't put any on the cheeks. I went ahead and added my Maybelline Superlock Tinted Brow Glue in the shade Medium Brown to my brows. Use my Clio Kill Lash Super Proof Mascara Long Curling. You guys know this is my favorite. I should have the name memorized by now, but it's just a really long name, so I do not. I did also go ahead and take my Huda Beauty powder and set with my little Sephora puff in my T-zone and up along under my cheeks, just because I felt like I needed more oomphy of a powder to really set down my face. On camera, like I said, I'm looking way more oily than in person. The last thing I want to try out that's new for you guys is from Maybelline. They sent over some new lipsticks that they recently launched. This is their serum lipsticks. So they did go ahead and launch some matte shades as well as satin shades. I'm not going to swatch all of them because some of them are too dark for me personally, and I know I won't get any use out of them, but I will show you all of them. So it says 8-hour plumping moisture formulated with hyaluronic acid plus an oil blend for serum level care. Comfort, barely there feel, available in tone enhancing satin and matte shades. So they came out with 5 satin and 5 matte shades. So the 2 satin shades that I'm going to be keeping, and I'll try them on for you. The first one being 101 Upstate. So this is that swatched out. Ooh, that's really pretty. I like that a lot. I haven't swatched any of these out. You do have to be careful with the packaging that like it has a locking kind of mechanism that like if you try to put it on any other way, it won't go on. So not the end of the world, just a little annoying personally. And then maybe it's Soft 106 is the last satin shade I decided I'm going to keep. Ooh, that's really pretty too. I like both of those. And then I will show you the other satin shades, swirl them up and show them to you. But yeah, they're just like a little too dark for me to keep personally. This one is 104, maybe it's intense. So this is just like a really pretty, almost like reddy brown shade. Then we have 105 Speed Walk, which is like a dark brown shade. And 107 Blind Date. I actually feel like I probably could use this shade, but with a deeper, darker color like this, I usually like to have a matte formulation just so it doesn't like slide and glide all over my lips. So those are all 5 of the satin shades. I'm gonna go ahead and try them on for you before we go to the matte ones. So again, this is in 101 Upstate. I'm not gonna put a lip liner on or anything, just because I'm gonna be taking it off. Ooh, okay, went a little crazy. Went a little outside the lines. That does feel very comfortable, very thin, like super, super thin of a lipstick, which usually lipsticks I feel like are a little thicker. Doesn't really do much to hide my lip lines personally, but it glided on really nice. It does feel like hydrating and moisturizing. I feel like this is something that I could just throw on and not even have to like think about it really. It would be like comfortable for a long time. Ooh, yeah. Okay, that's really pretty. So again, this is 101 Upstate. Okay, and then this is 106, maybe it's Soft. Ooh, yeah, I like this one a lot better. The other one was a little bit more cool toned. This is a little warmer, especially for this, like, these cheeks. Oh, that's really pretty. Okay, again, not really doing much for my lip lines. I mean, I got kind of liney lips, so, like, what can you do about it, you know? Again, super thin, super comfortable. Oh, I actually really like this shade. So again, this is 106, maybe it's Soft. Then they came out with 5 matte shades. I don't know if this is the full line, but this is what they sent me, the 5 satins and the 5 mattes. The matte shades have this more darker packaging versus the satin has a light. So that's just kind of cute that you can tell the difference, especially if you buy like a satin and a matte, you know right off the bat what you're getting. So the first one is 001 Crop Top. So I'll go ahead and swatch that. Ooh, that looks like a really pretty like pink peachy shade. Then we have 003 Open Late. Ooh, that's like a really dark pink. That's really pretty. And last but not least of the matte shades that I'm keeping, we have 005 Take the One. Those look exactly the same. Okay, maybe I don't need to keep both these. I'm gonna see if a friend wants one of these. I'll still swatch it on my lips for you because if I give it to a friend, like they don't care if I used it, but like those are almost identical. This has a little bit more purple to it, and this is a little bit more like berry toned, but they look literally the same. Okay, anyways, that's kind of odd. The 2 other the matte shades they sent over is 002, maybe it's ... There's not a, oh, actually, I feel like I could keep this. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this one as well because that looks, yeah, that looks pretty. Honestly, these all 3 look so similar. Okay, I really do not think they needed all 3 of those, so I will go ahead and swatch and keep that one as well. But the last one really is, I think, a little bit too deep for me. This is 008 Excuse Me, and this is just like a really dark, well, I don't know. This also looks like it would be fine. I think I'm not going to swatch this one. This is like a more dark brown kind of, and I'm just not really into those tones on me personally. But I will go ahead and swatch on my lips all of these for you. So let's start off with 01 Crop Top. 001 Crop Top. This is the lightest one. Okay, again, super thin of a formulation. Definitely more matte than the satin ones. Duh, that makes sense. But it also feels more matte on the lips. Not only does it look more matte, it feels more matte. But not in like a drying way. Almost like a powdery way, but not in a bad way. Like powder kiss matte sort of formulation. Again, not doing much for my lip lines. This is pretty. I think I would like this one more with a lip liner. It's a little bit light for me right now, but with a lip liner, I think it could be really pretty. So again, this is 001 Crop Top. Then we have 002, maybe it's ... I don't know, I feel like that should have more of a name to it, and maybe they've like misprinted the label. I don't know. Anyways. Ooh, that's pretty. I like that it's pointed as well, so you can really kind of get on your lip line without having a lip liner. Obviously, that would probably fade throughout time, but ooh, this is pretty. I like this. It's like a nice, pretty berry tone without being too deep and dark. So again, this is maybe it's. Okay, then we have 003 Open Late. Okay, this one definitely looks different on the lips than that last one. Swatched in a swatch, they look like, oh, pretty identical to be honest. But on the lips, this definitely is giving different, thankfully, because that'd be kind of silly to have like the same lipstick 3 times over in your line. So I'm glad it looks way different on the lips. Just deeper, darker, more berry tone personally, in my opinion. I like this. This is really pretty. So again, this is Open Late. And last but not least, we have 005, Take the One. Ooh, that's pretty too. Okay, all of these are pretty, you guys. I mean, it's not hard to make a pretty lipstick, in my opinion. Most of them are pretty. And this formulation feels nice. Like I said, it's super thin. It doesn't feel like insanely drying from just this first application putting it on. Yeah, that's pretty. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and keep this one on because like, why not? So again, this is 005, Take the One. Last but not least is setting spray. I was going to try this one out for you guys because I've been using this off camera for like a month at this point, maybe even longer, maybe even 2 months. And I don't think I've ever shown it on camera for you guys. This is newer from Morphe. This is their Life Proof Continuous Setting Mist. So their black bottle Continuous Setting Mist is stunning, beautiful. I love that. But it doesn't really help with the longevity of your makeup. It's more just to melt your powders and it gives like a little glow to your skin. This one does that as well, but I do feel like it helps with the longevity of your makeup, which is really nice, but it does add more of like a sheen and glow to your skin, which I just don't know if I want. I thought I would because that Blur Balm was supposed to be a matte formulation, and I do feel like right now my face, again in person, looks fairly matte. So maybe I would be fine using this, but I am scared to use this. I'm afraid it's gonna make it look too oily and greasy throughout the day. So instead I'm gonna use my Danessa Myricks. I'm like becoming a Danessa Myricks girly. What the heck? I like have recently bought quite a few things from her and I'm loving all of them. It makes me wanna buy and try more from her. But this is her Yummy Skin Liquid Blurring Balm Mattifying Setting Spray. So what I love about this is it keeps your face matte in the sense that it doesn't let your oils really peek throughout the day, but it doesn't change your makeup when you first apply this. Like this isn't gonna make my face look more matte. It's just going to keep me matte throughout the day, which I love that. And I do feel like this really does help with the longevity of my makeup too. It kind of makes my makeup just like freeze and look pretty much the exact same as when I first apply this, which is like what you want in a setting spray most of the time, you know what I mean? Like sometimes, yeah, you want to add some glow to your skin, and I definitely have those setting sprays and those foundations that I like to use that with, but I love having this in my arsenal that doesn't change my makeup, but just like freezes it in place pretty much, which is amazing. And that was it, you guys. That was some trying new makeup, some of my Sephora sale goodies that I wanted to just kind of show in action for you guys, as well as a couple PR products that were sent to me. The eyeshadow is looking really pretty. The Blur Balm, I'm so confused about. I'm genuinely confused because like just sitting back looking at my makeup, I think it looks good. Like it looks good. That provided enough coverage. I guess I'll have to wait and see how it wears throughout the day. If I remember to film a clip later today, I will include that at some point in this little outro to let you guys know how it wore. Okay, I'm not sure how good this lighting is, so I'm sorry about that. I have pretty much almost every light in my bathroom on right now, and I still feel like the lighting is pretty terrible. I don't know. Okay, we're just gonna go for it. It's about 8:30. I forgot to tell you guys earlier that when I stopped, like when I finished up my makeup, it was about 11:30. So I've had this on for 9 hours and it has stayed pretty well. The eyeshadow has not budged. It's still looking stunning. The cheeks are still looking good. The lipstick is pretty much gone at this point, but it lasted for hours, like hours. That matte lipstick, it lasted for a very long time. So if you're looking for a long wearing lipstick, definitely recommend that. It came off a little bit in the middle of my lips after I ate lunch, but for the most part, it stayed intact for a very long time. The Blur Balm, I think is still looking pretty good. I do think quite a bit of that has to do with the Danessa Myricks setting spray, so I'm gonna have to definitely try the Blur Balm again to make sure that like it actually really does wear well and it wasn't just a setting spray, but it's still looking really good. The coverage on my cheeks is still intact, on my forehead. It is broken up a tiny bit on my chin, but that's pretty typical for foundations, and it's definitely broken up here, but I blew my nose a couple times today, so I'm totally okay with that. I actually had to touch up here a couple times because of blowing my nose, and it just was like completely gone. But that's not the Blur Balm's fault. Obviously, that's just from blowing my nose. So overall, I'm very impressed with this makeup for having it on for 9 hours, the foundation and all that. So I'm excited about that. I will definitely keep you guys updated on all the products, all the goodies I tried today, but my makeup is looking good for 9 hours of wear. Yeah, it's like looking good right now. I don't know. When I like far away, it looks good. And then when I look up close, like it definitely is like dry on my face. It's kind of already going in my smile lines. It's like breaking up a little bit on my chin so far. Like, I don't know. It's not perfect by any means, but I don't hate it. I was fully expecting to really hate this, and I don't. I do think it looks pretty on me. That 01 shade is a good shade match. The Maybelline lipsticks are really pretty. Are they a necessity? No, definitely not. Like, if you have a million lipsticks, you don't need them. But if one of these shades struck your fancy and you were like, oh, that's my perfect lipstick shade, so far they feel nice. The matte isn't drying. I think that was really all kind of the new goodies I was coming on here to test. So let me know down below, what do you think of the makeup look? Overall, I think I like how it turns out. I think it looks really pretty. Let me know if you've tried any of these new products, if I kind of put them on your radar. I love hearing from you guys down below in the comments. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. You're awesome and I love you. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you have not yet, and hope to see you in my next video. Bye guys.